Hey sweet crafty friends, let's make this cute vintage farmhouse patriotic bell home decor piece. Okay, the first thing I'm doing is I'm painting some stripes on some drop cloth that was cut in the shape of a bell. We're using home decor in the color of milk jug and Waverly paint in the color of lacquer to paint those red and white stripes. Now make sure that you dry between each coat, otherwise you'll get bleeding and you'll end up with some pink. Now on the top, we're going to go ahead and use some Hello Lobby. This is the new Walmart brand, you guys. It's called Vintage Blue. I just love this blue, you guys. Look at how awesome that looks. All right, our camera froze, so we had to restart. Now we're going to go ahead and paint some stars. I'm just doing the cheater way, you guys, making that little A with the line across and pulling it down to the points. I'm not a painter. I don't claim to be, but hey, they look pretty awesome. I like them. Okay, now again, make sure that you're drying between all of these different steps. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a hot mess. I went ahead and crumpled that up a few times so that it will look kind of, worn and vintage and not just so freshly ironed. We're using some coffee grunge to kind of grunge this up, give it that nice vintage, worn, rustic-y like look. Look at how awesome that looks once it's dried. Now I have this wood palette board that I got from craftdeals.com. That's craft deals with a Z, you guys, craftdeals.com. We're painting it with Deb's Dairy DIY liquid patina in the color of dark and decrepit, and I absolutely love this paint, you guys. It's a nice stain and the color is amazing. Okay, we're going to go ahead and use that same milk jug paint again with a dry chippy brush and just kind of stroke that on there nice and easy. Give it that nice little wash look, kind of like an old fence that's been hanging out outside. Okay, now we're going to glue this bell right onto this board. Okay, and now make sure when you put this down that you leave yourself enough space to get some polyfill in there, because we're going to put some fill in there to give it a 3D effect. You also want to make sure that you let that glue dry before you try to stuff that polyfill in there, otherwise it will pop right off the board. And you also want to make sure that you do just a little bit at a time so that you can get it down properly and get the stuffing in. But you guys, look at how awesome this looks. Look at this nice 3D effect. Isn't that awesome? Not too fat, just a little bit to give it some dimension. Now we're going to use a nice big rusty bell. I have this left over from my Christmas stash, you guys. If you don't have this, you can use the small rusty bells. Put like 3 or 5. You want to do it in an odd number to get that bell there. Now we're going to use some cheesecloth that's been coffee grunged, baked in the oven to give it that nice, great, rusty, vintagey look. Okay, and then I snip it with the scissors a little bit, put little holes, and then I can pull on it. That gives it that, the worn look that it gets. We'll add a bow to it. We're going to put a stick with some rusty metal and a tag, let freedom ring. And you guys, I just love how this turned out. Let me know what you think. I think this is absolutely gorgeous and can be left out all year long even. Thank you so much for watching, my sweet friends. I really hope that you enjoyed it. You guys all have a blessed and beautiful day. And if you want this pattern for this bell, be sure to join my Telegram because it will be going out on Telegram today.